We'll talk about this after the stream. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be talking about the 5th of November, which
Still
is
not
V for
live.
Vendetta Day.
Yeah,
Still
we're
not
not
live.
live yet.
We are live.
Nope.
I hit the live button.
There it is.
Yay! So, now just make sure that everyone remembers the 5th of November of Treason, Gunpowder, and Plot. So, that went shit. Just like the rest of my life.
No, I thought it was good. Yeah.
It made my brain twitch a little bit.
I will shank you.
Bring it on, potato. I'll bring a potato.
Okay, so we're all here to talk about one of the best movies I find of all time.
Mm-hmm.
This guy.
Yes.
The man, the myth, the legend,
Woo.
Bob Sanders. V for Vendetta.
Woo.
Now, going by Twitter, because he really wants to talk about this, so I'm just going to go to Sparks here first. Sparks, you want to take us off?
Yeah. What am I gonna say? Sorry.
Whatever you want, man.
Yeah, the thing is, I really did. This movie does seem to really resonate very easily because even now, given where we are currently in this whole political situation, I would often think, given the fact of the subject matter that we talk about people who are quote unquote undesirables in this movie, it would be just the exact same if it was the reverse of it, if they were like targeting heterosexual couples and saying that they're undesirable. Again, it doesn't really matter what side you want. If you're an extremist type of person and you gain power and you want to get rid of all the undesirables, yeah, you would just go with that. I mean, this movie is just become so relevant that tyrannical governments always will take power. But again, just like it said in the movie, we shouldn't be afraid of the government. The government should be afraid of its people, aka us.
I actually got that tattooed on my chest.
Do you?
Yes, I do actually.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna refresh this. It's still saying scheduled.
Ooh.
Hold on. Let me get in all the sims. There we go.
People shouldn't fear the government.
Okay. Hey, Tim Talk. Wait, who did we lose?
Boom.
We lost
Jet.
Jet Sparks.
And he's back.
Yeah. It was weird on my end. It was still saying it was
I
scheduled.
killed it. I killed this camera by accident. I apologize.
So one of the things, and that I do
trap.
agree with, is in a lot of independence constitutions from a lot of the cultures who tend to be tougher, the Americans, the Irish, a few different people like that. In some, the Irish thing is like, we the people of Ireland, this ancient and powerful country, right? America is, we, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it? It's like, we the people? It's always like starting like, we are the commoners. The government is, you work for us. You're there on your behalf. And a lot of media where they have like good emperors, good kings in media always say the one thing is, we are here underneath the people's whim. If they turn against us, we are no more than a dog in the street that they will use to play football with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If they choose to.
Yeah.
He said,
exactly.
We rule because they choose it. And if they wake up and realize this, tyrannical governments are gone.
Exactly the point. And that's been the base message. And this is why I've even said this movie pretty much will be timeless.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, because the concept is timeless. You know,
Yes.
One person with a bit of ambition could sneak explosives underneath the parliament and try to blow the whole darn thing up. So yeah,
Bloody Catholics.
it's relevant.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's what Guy Fawkes originally was fighting for.
Yeah, he was fighting for freedom of religion before it
Yes.
was even really a concept.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he lived, Ryan, if I'm correct, wasn't the Henry VIII just after switching over? So the whole like burning of the monasteries was like quite recent in memory.
Well, yes, that was about 50, 60 years before Guy Fawkes planned to blow up Parliament, because Henry VIII couldn't get his divorce, so he decided to jump on the Protestant bandwagon, set up the Church of England so he could get a divorce. And that's why Catholics were discriminated against in the United Kingdom. At that time, it was just England, Wales, and most of Ireland. Scotland was its own independent kingdom at the time.
Yes.
But yes, the Catholics wanted equal rights. They weren't given them peacefully. So one man tried his best to wipe out the establishment. And Guy Fawkes ultimately met his end because he didn't want Catholic representatives in Parliament to be blown up. So he sent a letter to a good few of them. One of them, I believe, betrayed him to the authorities. And
Yes,
that's why
that
he was
is how it
captured.
happened, and they actually broke Guy Fawkes, who is the face for V for Vendetta.
Mhm.
So this
Yes.
face right here, this is how Guy Fawkes dressed,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And he is the face. Now, a lot of people think Guy Fawkes was hung, drawn, and quartered. It wasn't. He took the carrots way out and offed himself off of the scaffolding after he saw what they had planned for him. He had his testicles crushed by Big Ben.
Ow!
Oh.
That made my bits cringe. Oh.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
now-
that's really the face I make when someone gets hurt, when someone gets hit right there. It's like,
Yeah, now so I'm going to talk about the best part in the movie. In
Oh, there's
this
at least
whole
two good parts.
thing.
I know mine.
Yes.
yes, the destruction of the
it
Old
is,
Bailey.
yeah.
Woo!
The Old Bailey's destruction.
Wow.
I love that part.
Yes.
I can't remember the
I-
title of the song in this.
The
Nineteen-
Overture 1812. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. 1812.
Also,
I'm stupid. I said 1912. I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
I would also just like to say, wait, no. Hello to the audience.
Yes. Hello, Gap After Dark. BK Dan.
Yep.
Yes,
Um.
indeed.
Hello,
Hi.
absolutely everyone. Hello, Vincent.
Hello.
Hello,
Delon.
people in the chat.
Hugs
How do you
to
say his name? Vincent.
Vincent de Leon.
Yeah,
to
it's
see the
Vincent,
people
Italian
watching.
name. Yeah,
I think,
Hey,
everybody's
so-
tired. I think everybody's tired of their government shit. Everybody is.
it
Yeah,
is.
and
guys-
SAT. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and to
No, I-
Vincent, myself, Viva la Revolution.
Mhm.
R for me and Moira, Chuck your law.
What?
That's the Irish equivalent.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Our day will come.
My Gaelic is crappy at best.
Your Gaelic is American.
Died by the sword.
That's-
His favorite
That's crappy,
part
dude.
of the movie was the opening speech by the newsman.
Oh, how
Oh,
okay.
controversial.
Talking about all this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, about the St. Mary's
I love that.
virus, them putting in the Three Waters treatment
was-
facility and the tube station. Yep.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
very interesting.
Hmm.
But what did you guys think of what he did with Evie?
That was, I'd say it was bad that he did what he did with her, but also the letter he sent that we also know, everyone, spoilers alert.
Well, I mean, the movie's like what, nearly 20 years old.
It's
Yeah.
been since 2005. It's
A
fair
lot
to
of
say-
people
they've already
still
had
haven't
a fair
seen
share
it,
to
man.
watch it.
A lot
Yeah,
of
that's
people.
true.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler everyone, but yeah,
2005,
there is a
yeah.
scene where he's given her letters from a person in the cell he was in that was right next to her,
Yeah.
a woman named Valerie who came out as gay, and again, she obviously had those feelings ever since she was in like school, and I know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know there's always that thing where they say, yeah, when you have that sort of adolescent curiosity, they tell you, oh, it's just a phase. Yeah, sometimes it may just be a phase, sometimes it may not be. But again, and it's just sad, and it's always just as sad when you know her parents just didn't accept her for who she was. It's
Oh
just
man, I
so
was so
sad.
sad for her when they threw her baby picture in the trash can. I was like, oh
Yes.
my god.
I-
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fear back then, because sadly it is the media, of a lot of super conservative religious parents when a child would come out as being gay that they'd throw their pictures away. It's one of the things that they were playing on.
That's
You
Well,
know,
yeah.
it definitely
there's a
worked. 'Cause I
huge-
felt sad.
there's a huge part of that angst with parents when it comes to that discrimination of their children coming out. It's that they're disturbed by the idea that their legacy, their bloodline will not be continued because gay people do not reproduce.
Take into
To
consideration
them-
people have daughters and they don't necessarily have to worry about,
Biologically.
like,
To them, like they see their family bloodline tarnished, which is
Yeah,
No,
or
not just tarnished, or they might be broken because some
Yeah,
of
right.
her parents, she was an only child, according
Right.
to the show, according to the
Well,
film.
in a lot of like countries like old Japan, China, medieval Europe, people who basically would have been gay, they said had unnatural tendencies, as they put it, were
Right.
immediately arranged to be married.
Yeah,
So, like, and we all know what happened with the daughters on the wedding night. That must have been traumatic.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Unless they
But-
were lucky enough to you arranged marriage to a guy who was also in the closet. Then they
Yeah,
have
but
roommates.
they had to
Then they
make
got a
kids. That was the whole point. But Die by the Sword says, well, you want the best for your kids. Exactly. So
I do.
speaking about kids, Ellie's parents what were they, journalists?
yeah,
Oh,
Evie's
they-
parents.
they-
Yeah, no, her father was a
Yeah.
writer. Her mother was.
A political
Oh,
activist. They were both political activists.
Yeah, they
So-
became.
yeah, but the
political
father was
activists.
a thespian. The father was a theater goer and a writer. He was
Yes.
he was a writer,
And
he was a
again-
playwright.
Close. Hits me right where
You a
where I
thespian
live.
yourself?
I'm a writer up and coming. I mean, heck,
Fantastic.
I've shown a little bit of what I'm working on my channel. You can just check out any writing streams I've done.
Yeah. But Ryan, what about you? You've been a bit quiet. We've over.
Well, I want to listen to what all you guys want to say about this. In regards to Evie, she really goes through. I call it a trial by water because V goes through a trial by fire. Ultimately,
Yeah.
he gets
Yes.
burned.
Nice.
You see that
And literally.
You
Yeah.
see that scene where the facility is burning and he's burning with it. And you see that scene where Evie goes through a torture of V's design. And it ultimately ends with her on the balcony as there is water and thunderstorms. And that's why I call it a trial by water.
Yeah,
So,
yes. And that line that it was said in Valerie's letters, God is
God's
in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the truth though. Here's the difference that I can see. Sadler uses God for fear. God is for having faith in.
Yeah. Like, this is going to sound really weird. Her whole thing, and what I think he did to her, in essence, was an anagram.
Psychological.
Yeah,
are you talking
someone
about?
gaining faith. Like, a diehard
Yeah.
atheist gaining faith. Like, when she stood there and when the rain hit her face and she felt God, gotcha, you little bastard. Sorry. When she felt God in the rain, to me, that was her final steps of, you could say, political conversion, but this felt to be a religious experience, a religious conversion. So when she stepped outside, it seems to me to have been written, at least by one of the writers, as someone who had either lost faith or had no faith, and then came back to religion. That's what it felt like. They say God fearing as opposed to a loving God. We say both here.
I'm in Oklahoma. They say God fearing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my dad told me God fearing is only out of a sign of respect.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
what do you think of like V's methods for what he's doing?
He was a monster, openly admitted. He was an
Yes.
admitted monster. He knew
I
what he was
like
doing.
him because, like, he didn't go after innocent people. He only went after bad people, and sometimes you need a monster to fight another monster.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. There's that line in the movie Serenity that was the film sequel to the franchise of
Firefly.
Firefly, where the guy that's hunting them, the agent of the government, says, I don't expect to live in this world of utopia. I'm a monster, plain and simple. I kill children if necessary. Blah, 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 blah. I don't expect to be accepted by my own government. I know what I am. And he was absolutely right. That's why he was so dangerous, because he was a true believer.
Yeah. I got kicked out of a Star Trek group because when they said, would you love to live in the Federation's utopia? I'm just going to favorite this. No, hey Gap, I have that favorited for later on. So, we turned around and I said, one man's utopia is another man's hell.
Yeah, another man's dystopia, yeah.
Yeah, because let's say, just say for talk's sake that I turn around and I'm like, oh, this world is perfect for me. Jet might think this world is hell. Ryan might think this world...
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you continue.
Yeah, but well, Ryan would be like, I'm going to fix this world.
That's the equivalent of the current narrative talking about mid-century America, where they're saying that only certain groups experienced the vibe and the sensation of America. It's not entirely true, of course, but in the narrative, the Anglo world in America was considered privileged, right? By mid-century.
In many ways, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in other ways, not really so much. It was the 60s and the 70s that really turned it all on its ass.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we're going through the war and everything.
Yeah, and the 1950s, you still had the soldiers who were still dealing with the financial outcome of the war, with the mental outcome of the war, and things like that. So in the 50s, I think this whole privilege and everything like that. Yeah, I literally think that it was media.
Yeah, I think it probably was that, because again, media is all about that. I mean, again, the media propaganda was going through the wars, like finding scrap metal, war bonds, all that other stuff. That whole thing is, but go to I'm pretty sure any person who probably may have survived World War II. I mean, you could say it now with a lot more people who went to Vietnam.
Yes.
Yeah, war is hell. You probably saw people get their legs blown off, stuff like that. I mean, Saving Private Ryan pretty much showed the horrors of war.
Oh my god, that movie's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and but the people that did come out, and the reason why the world flourished between 1945 and 1965, it was because that generation came away from the war. And I'm talking about civilians in the streets as well as soldiers in boots. They came away from the war realizing absolutely 150% what was really important.
Yeah.
They buckled down, they got to work, they brought their countries back up from ruin, and they rebuilt their nations in a true identity of themselves. I mean, this is how Japan became Japan. It was because they were like, that's it, we're done. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, we already know that nukes are probably the most devastating deterrent ever created on this planet. But again, Japan did rebuild from all this, and they created some of the most greatest popular culture we could have ever seen. It gave us Godzilla. Yeah. It led to Super Sentai. It led to Kamen Rider. It led to the numerous animes that we've seen over the years, like Akira, Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli, with all the amazing fantastical films he's created. And that's the whole thing. A lot of Japanese films and media have been embedded in pop culture around the world.
Yep.
It has.
Yeah, and I want to mention, I used to tweet this out on a regular basis. I haven't done it recently, but I find it deeply ironic that the three nations that were brought under suppression from World War II, Japan, Italy, and Germany, ironically, those three nations created three of the largest international icons to come to the popular culture: the Volkswagen Beetle, the Vespa, and Godzilla. All three of those came out of wartime ruins from attitudes that were developed during the war. So
Yeah.
who was the victor in all of this? I find it deeply ironic, actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
I know
but
Churchill did
speaking
say that. Sorry.
about the war. Go back to V for Vendetta.
Talk about propaganda, folks. This film
Yeah.
really highlights
It does.
the
Yes.
and power of propaganda.
Mhm.
And television and media. The way that they show, like, that man was well ahead of his time when he showed, like, it's like the news outlets, like, what was it, ITV News or something like that?
No,
It
it's
was-
BTN.
Yeah, BTN. Basically, whenever something had happened, to go, not much happened here today. He died of a heart attack. He will be missed.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
yeah. Pompous Potero, as I call him.
Yeah. And that guy, funnily enough, around the same time, he died doing something similar in The Wind That Shakes the Barley in a movie in the Irish Revolution movie.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the same. He was roughly in character, exactly the same, which makes me laugh. But one of the things that was really, really, I'm like, wanted to shout out the movie was, hey, it's the world's best pirate, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
Hey.
Was how many people were asleep and just sitting there smiling at the television.
Yeah, that was the part of this that really kind of spooks me, is the depiction of apathy.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And when V actually says the only people you have to do, the only people, if you want to find somebody to blame, just look in the damn mirror.
Yep.
There
Yeah.
is a saying for the two guys on camera, right? Can you make a fist and point for me at this camera? Like point, yeah. It's like with your one finger pointing out, there's three pointing back.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like when you're accusing someone, right? You've got three fingers pointing back at you. So no matter what you do, who you accuse, you're also accusing yourself. And but I absolutely love in the media, the Chancellor is like, I am the Chancellor, we are strong, we will get through this. He said, we will not bow down to
Anarchy.
to annoyances. Well, I'm trying to not say a bad word on YouTube. Motherfucker, we will not bow down to terrorists. We will not kneel, and then behind the screens is like, what are we doing? And the fact that he was hidden away like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he knew what he was. He knew what he was, and he knew how dangerous it was because he was the danger. Again,
Yeah.
that whole idea of the reflection. He
Yep.
would look in the mirror and knew what he did, right? The leader of this country in the V for Vendetta universe. They all knew what they did. That's why they had to keep the handle down so hard.
Absolutely. I mean, the plague, the experimentations to find a cure.
Yeah. Let's not even go there, man, because
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about in universe and not going real world.
yeah,
Yes.
'cause the real world terrified me 3 years ago
Yeah.
because I saw this film in the theater.
Oh.
Wow. How was it? The atmosphere of the movie in the theater.
It was not well received. It was not understood because it was still under the vibe of the Matrix. And people
Really?
people didn't see it for what it was until the future started getting rolled out. But as time has progressed, I've seen some gaping jaws on the internet of people watching it now for the first time, where they're looking shocked and like quite literally saying over and over again to the camera, I'm sorry, I'm not talking, but this is some heavy stuff. Because they're living in the reality that this thing is depicting.
In my opinion, this scene here, right? And then it's, no, not this one, sorry. Then it's this. That was basically for the audience go, do I have your attention now? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And she was our witness character. She is
Yeah.
us. Frail,
She,
human,
weak.
scared out of our wits and just
Yeah.
ducking and covering the whole time.
And trying as hard as she can to clasp to the reality that's, she's had everything burst away from.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she lost her whole family in the process of this film, right? I mean, the prehistory on this one character, she was basically raised in a concentration camp.
But here's one of the things that I noticed in the movie, and it's like scary as well. Who can you trust?
No one.
Yeah.
Like in the Eastern Bloc, where a third of the population of East Germany were spies. You can trust no one. That's how the system survived.
It's North Korea, honestly, because it's like because the way they operate in North Korea is that if you tell your Ryan, you say to me, it's like, hey, Potato, I'm leaving, I'm going, right? I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I go and I tell Sparks here, I'm like, hey Sparks, Ryan's going, and then Sparks shows up with a military battalion going, okay, time for you to go bye-bye. You can't trust anyone.
Yeah, just you're supposed to you're told to tell on your neighbors.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, vans are driving around the streets, and everybody knows that these vans are driving around the streets. So there's so much policing going on internally and externally, because just those sequences in the bar where, like, at the end when these messages finally getting out there and everything is ramping up and we're approaching the anniversary of the 5th of November from V's reign, these guys in the bar are going, would you believe this? They've been talking about it all friggin' year. It's like it just keeps getting worse. How could it be getting worse? It's like, I thought we were being policed. How could there still be bad things going on?
Yeah. Bubba, since you're the latest one to join, what's your opinions?
Oh, which part? I mean, I ain't seen the movie. Okay, yeah. No, that's the thing. As far as all of this stuff goes, do any of y'all believe in predictive programming? For those of you who don't know what that is, that means that they have been showing us things for years that are yet to come to fruition. Take The Simpsons predicting the future. Yes. By the way, Russia apparently starts a nuclear war in 2023, according to The Simpsons, like 8 years ago. So anyway, the point is that, V for Vendetta, both the comic book and the movie, are very, very indicative to what happens. You take George Orwell's 1984 and you amplify it. You make all of these, these concepts of the overbearing, over-controlling government, and the and of course the radical element of the few and the strong. That's going to. That's. It's not really revolutionary to say that this is going to happen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. My father, when we went to go see Close Encounters of the Third Kind, he was already about 20 years or 30 years involved in the whole UFO conversation.
Yeah.
So when he saw that film, he's like, this is some hard-ass programming. We are definitely going to see some stuff happening in the very near future. And then I said the same thing when I saw the movie Independence Day. I mean, that one sequence where the UFO destroys the building in Times Square. Well, I burst into tears, and my girlfriend at the time was like, "What are you crying about?" And I'm like, "I don't have any idea." But on the morning of September 11th, I knew exactly why I had I teared up, because I had a psychic experience that something like that was going to happen.
Well, take for instance in that in the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo Mario Brothers movie, we see the Twin Towers, like we see them like in desolate ruin, for a split second, then they pop back to normal, and it was just stuff like that, different things that they would, that they've dropped hints here and there, but go all the way back to the original War of the Worlds radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody freaked completely out. They had mass hysteria over that. People starting to hoard, people starting to, people like contemplating or even breaking out into cannibalism. This is not a joke. And then, when Roswell happened, everybody's like, "Oh no, that's just fine. It's just a weather balloon. Everything's okay."
Yeah.
And
Speaking about
that is what predictive programming does. It
Well, yeah, and
desensitizes
to
us
bring it
to
back
the
to the
real.
subject at hand, V
Yeah.
for Vendetta is written by a guy that also wrote the book The Watchmen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alan Moore.
And in that book, they basically describe a September 11th event happening that brought peace to the whole world
Well, I honestly,
by having
I
an
honestly think
alien crash land in Manhattan.
Yeah, I honestly think V for Vendetta could easily be set in the same world as The Watchmen.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I
But
could see
guys,
that as being relevant
this
too.
was at the end of V for Vendetta,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I love this scene though.
Yeah, it's so well
I
shot.
do too.
It's shot in a way where you think, oh, Evie's the one doing it, but we already kind of know who it is. But
Yeah.
everyone who unmasked when Parliament just starts blowing up and the fireworks start going up, every person who may be dead or alive are all there. The little kid that was spraying graffiti of V's emblem all over London, that lady Valerie and her partner.
Yes.
Those two gay men that were taken, they were there. Gordon Dietrich was there.
But they were like, that's the thing though. We knew they were dead, but the fact that they were there, like, it brings the question: did that protest actually happen, or is it the writer saying that the dead are always with us? Like, wait,
I think what they were actually trying to depict is that we're familiar with the characters. So cinematically, we needed to see those characters resurrect. But what they were actually depicting was the people that are still alive that are identical to them in personality and in social status.
Okay.
They can finally reveal themselves.
They did not die in vain.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
And
because
that's the whole
next
thing
generation that's identified by these cast members are being identified in the crowd again as the second generation or the current generation of those people.
It's like in a war movie. Like, let's say for talk's sake that there's a World War II movie and we see a hero going through it, and then it cuts to present day. Just say his name is Flynn, right? His last name. And we cut to present day and we see a general with the badge name of Flynn. And you know that the next generation is strong and going on as well. Carrying on. It's the same thing.
But I depicted it as just like what Evie told Finch at the end. He was my brother. He was my mother and my father.
Yep.
And again, literally, he was all of us. And again, Finch even already said, yeah, we're all a part of all of this. We all wanted that yearning fire for freedom that we all wanted, but we were all too scared. But now we feel free again. Just like how when Evie was standing on top of the rooftop screaming in the rain that she had no fear anymore. All those people there, they were not afraid to die, but they were willing to die and march onto Parliament.
That's
exactly.
V actually recognizes when he hears her name, he goes E-V. And he was like, he doesn't really say it, but you could see it. You could see it in his face. You can't see anything in his face. He's wearing a mask, but you could see it in his face that he was like, oh, I get it. The evolution of V is EV.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every V.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole point, though. Everyone who was there, the whole point is, even when he was fighting Creedy and his men, he has said, and the same thing goes with how Guy Fawkes was supposed to be depicted. The idea should be remembered, not the man.
Yeah.
Should be remembered.
I said this behind the stage. That I think personally so you see Evie walking out into the crowd or walking somewhere, right? And she looks to her left and you see an identical V for Vendetta, an identical V standing there looking at her, right? And she's like, V? And then when she turns her head to the right, she sees another V. And when she looks behind her, there's a third one. In a way that you tell the audience by showing them, no matter what happens, there's always someone to take my place.
Yeah,
Right,
and that's the reason why Anonymous adopted the Guy Fawkes mask. Because again, you don't know who any of them are, and that's kind of the reason why. I kind of don't really know what most of you all look like, but that's
I
the
look
whole
like
thing.
a potato.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, we literally can just sit behind this and not have to see your face. That's why we keep sometimes we can keep our anonymity in a way.
I was silly. I was too open, too honest, and too transparent.
Yeah,
I
in many ways.
have people who are assholes. So in my life, so I don't share my face just in case they find my channel.
Yeah, but the people I know, I mean, at least a couple of them have friended me on Facebook. I mean, they know where they probably know my face, but they don't exactly know where I live. The only thing they know, one of these dudes know, is that I live in the United States.
Yeah.
But they're not ever gonna. I don't think they're ever gonna find me. But I know. But heck, I've seen what one of these guys look like, and I feel like this dude. I could probably knock him out with just one punch, most likely, if I could. Or he'd probably just cower in the corner the minute I try to swing at him. He'd just cower in the corner.
That's the thing that I find, like, knowing our little groups and things like that, versus in the media, nerds, geeks like us, gamers, are always viewed as being cowards. Always viewed
weak.
As being
weak.
But I can tell just by looking at this part of Jet, you're strong.
Yes, I mean I'm not afraid. I mean, again, don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Simple as that.
But look at Steven as well. Steven is strong. Like, so is Ryan. Myra is kick ass. Raquel will kill him with adorableness, and I don't back down. Like, I'm pretty sure that if someone went at Raquel, she'd basically do this. and dead. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's
it's
something interesting about this social media landscape culture that we've got going on here, and it's roughly the equivalent of toilet papering somebody's house. You could do it anonymously and get away with it. And the same thing kind of goes on online. There's a lot of things that people would never, ever say to your face.
Exactly, because people are non-confrontational. That person can be big and bad on the internet, but you meet them in real life, they would probably be the most cowardly person a non-confrontational person you could ever meet. And that's why
their actions online is actually proof of that, because only a coward would do something without any ramifications.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if I turned around and I said like a lot of stupid stuff to Jet, right? But then he came to my house, or he came to my friend group, and he's like, "Hey, dude, what were you saying to me?" No, I'm right here. Like, come on, say it like I'm right here.
I get back and I hear y'all talking about like y'all gonna kick each other's ass.
We're just saying like the media perception of nerds is that we're weak, we're cowards, and everything like that. But in reality, from knowing you guys, knowing my friends, is that we tend to be the most welcoming. We tend to be the most I don't care what you look like, who you are, or anything like that. I just care that you're a good person. But at the same time, come at me, bitch, fuck around and find out.
Yeah, and I mean,
oncoming traffic.
All right, guys, I got to get off here. Thanks for having me on. But I thought I'd pop in for a few minutes. Y'all have a good week.
Later.
All right.
Later.
Have a good one, Bubba. Thanks for having by.
Well, just to get back on topic here,
Yeah.
I thought Hugo Weaving was fantastic as Guy Fawkes.
Hugo
Weaving as V,
as V, but Hugo Weaving got so much done through a mask,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could tell emotions, you could tell feeling, you could nearly tell what he was thinking. But he was also psychotic, and one of my favorite scenes that showed how unhinged he was after he killed someone, he was making pancakes.
Well,
or eggy in the basket, as they call it.
Eggy in the basket.
Delicious.
The duality of man, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. Duality is often a great plot point for characters.
Yeah. But And then where did he live?
Underground.
He lives in underground, the Shadow Gallery, as he called it.
Yeah. I love the fighting scene with him with his daggers and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I know that was pretty good.
mm-hmm.
I was so sad to see him die at the end. I was like, no.
I know. I was like, no.
They're supposed to run off
why?
together after they get the bad guys. No. It's the only part of the movie I don't like.
But that's the thing, though. And this is what a lot of the thing is important to realize. Ideas have to die.
No, the ideas are supposed to live on.
Yeah, but
ideas are bulletproof.
Exactly.
V.
I just wish he had been too.
V served his purpose. Most heroes of the revolution, ladies and gentlemen, don't live long enough to see the aftermath. But in V's case, he served his purpose, and the new world he helped to usher in, he unfortunately could not live within. And he realized that.
I'm not built like I would have loved to have seen just 5 years later.
Everyone's fighting each other.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got that now.
Yeah, but I would have loved to see what happened in the world of V for Vendetta. Would the revolution have become worldwide? Would they have restored the monarchy? Would they have done anything? What would have happened? Because I think what would have happened is a lot of the people would go back to the status quo of let's just reset.
Right? I'm worried about that, and I think about it, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, what if they'd had, like, a bunch of people, like, throwing propaganda and being like, you don't want to be seen as a terrorist, do you? You know, and calling each other bigots and stuff like that, you know, because they want to free England, you know? Like, I wonder how different it would be if, like, some of the people, like, the populace was doing that, because all the populace seem on board, and we know good and well that's unrealistic.
But what do you think of his costume? V's costume.
I mean, you mean like from the neck down? I mean, I think it looks practical.
Simple, sleek, maybe stylish. Gets the job done.
Mm-hmm. The mask is awesome, so I was assuming.
Yeah, it is. The mask is awesome.
Well,
it's a historical homage, actually, to the 1600s.
It is, because they used to wear those head cloaks walking around back in the 1600s and that.
Well, even the line of his jacket, too, is it's very 16th century, 15th century. That kind of tapering waist with that wedge of a chest piece. It's all part of that same time period.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, Guy Fawkes looked very dapper.
Hi, Irish Mountains.
Hey, Mountains. Guy, he's not Guy Fawkes though.
He might, but he gives you the vibe. That's like the spirit of it. Kind of.
Oh, he is the spirit. He is literally the spiritual successor of Guy Fawkes.
And he couldn't remember his actual name, so I mean, he was going by a Roman numeral for fuck's sake. I mean, I figure we can call him Guy Fawkes a little bit.
But here's the thing, though, with V, and one of the things that I always think of in these movies, and someone said last time we were talking of it, right, is that no matter what happens, is that there'll always be a V.
Yeah, there'll always be someone who will try to be, you know, the sort of torch that will lead to some sort of revolution. Mm-hmm. In many ways, in like history, you could think of Gavrilo Princip as a revolutionary in a way, but he murdered a single man. But that sparked the First World War. I mean, there were other factors, but that was the spark.
What sparked the revolution in my country was an imprisonment and the beating to death of a 14-year-old in a prison. That's what sparked it. Like,
I think fair enough on that.
Oh yeah, literally someone turned around and said to the British Prime Minister, "Congratulations, you turned an army of 1,600 people into an army of millions."
Yeah,
I'd be pretty pissed. Of course, America does that like way more often than you want to think.
I know, it's kind of your pastime.
No, like if I have a question here. This little group of people that are called anonymous use the Guy Fawkes masks.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not really entirely sure what's the story behind that.
They do
Oh,
it.
it's everyone looks the same.
Well, that
Mm.
and it's because it's kind of hinting at kind of like a cyber revolution in a way.
Yeah.
Mm.
But Anonymous got taken over by the FBI or the CIA about 10 years ago, so like shit ain't the same since, to be honest.
Yeah,
You
if
think
he
you
wasn't
think
part
they'd
of
let
those
anybody that
organizations in the
smart?
first place.
Yeah, you think they'd let anybody smart like that go rogue for too long before get reining them
What
in?
did you think of the cop?
Oh, the Irish cop?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's all right.
Finch.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
he was. Yeah, he was trying to. He was just trying to peel back the layers. He was playing detective the whole time.
He was honestly, he was one of the weakest people, in my opinion, in that entire world because they literally joked with him, laughing, like, "Oh yes, I'm sorry for what they did to Ireland."
And
Like,
you can
it's
tell
like-
he wants to beat their fucking ass for saying that stupid shit to him.
Yeah.
Shut
He's
up.
kind of stuck in a bad spot because he's a cop, and if he goes against
And he's
it,
also a part. He's also a part of the inner circle of the Northfire Party. Yeah.
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 Oh, speaking about
that entire panel of guys at the beginning that are sitting around that inner circle round table, they all, looking at history, know themselves to be a kind of traitor to
Yeah.
the nation. Because
They
they all
literally are.
kind of know what actually is going down, and they certainly are aware of what's going down in real time in their time period. So that beat cop, becoming a detective, knew that he was granted certain privileges because he continues to toe the line. And that's kind of what's going on with woke culture as well. I will scream this from the mountaintops. There are more people in Hollywood that disagree but don't disagree on air because they can't. They're imprisoned like the rest of us.
Yes.
I've seen one guy who works in Hollywood turn around and he said there's a lot more conservatives in Hollywood than you would think. But the fact of the matter is, some of the people who are screaming my privilege, my everything on Twitter and everything like that.
When things go wrong, you think people are gonna care you live in a big fancy mansion? No. They won't. They're gonna come in, take whatever you got, even your food. They don't care about you as a celebrity. They won't care. If people are desperate, or if they're desperate enough, they will do anything to get what they want. Even
he didn't
food,
fit on the council though. I think that he. Oh, go ahead.
I have to agree. What Dive by the Sword said. He didn't feel somehow out of place in the High Council.
I think he had a conscience, and when
he had.
Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and I'm going to call the RoboCop equation on that one. It's, how much can you oppress a police officer and still expect them to be able to perform their task, their duty, right? So they had to allow him a certain amount of leeway for him to continue to perform his job. But when he was performing his job, he was slowly getting the inkling that there's something seriously wrong here, kids.
Yeah, he was even afraid to tell his partner because he was like,
I guess you could
he
say
can't trust his partner.
A little bit. He tested the waters with him, asking what he would think if the government was responsible for it. Like, he was testing the waters to see if his boy was down or not. And
then V pretty much nails it in place when he says, well, I had to wait for you, detective.
I guess you could say the cop's eyes were slowly opening at that point.
Yes.
They were.
Yeah, because they were cops.
But
right?
one of the
Because he's a
funniest
detective.
Yeah, one of the funniest things that always made me laugh was how many times V for Vendetta met the cop as different people, and he never realized it was the same person.
I thought it was only like the one time.
It was that one time. Yeah, as he claimed to be Rockwell. Yeah, and that really was weaving in that actual scene, or the few times we actually see what V looks like without being cast in shadow. I mean, you see glimpses of how burnt his body was.
I think he had like a mask or something because they followed him and they found like this rubberized mask.
Well, you definitely did get a sneak peek how burned he was when he
glove.
was.
Yeah,
with his glove when he was cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With his hands.
Yeah.
After the fire went, some smells good. Oh shit, that's me.
Yeah, and there's a full reveal of his face when he grabs Natalie Portman's character You can actually see that his face is all burnt in that sequence.
I didn't.
Yes, and when he's wearing the mask, yeah. Wearing
Yeah.
a mask like he's one of the fingermen, yeah.
No. I mean, when he grabs her literally outside of the comedian's house.
Yeah,
when
that's
she's
what I'm
trying
talking
to
about.
escape.
Yeah, I
You
know,
could
but he
see
was
that
still
it's
wearing.
him.
Yeah, he was wearing a ski mask. I knew that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we get a full body reveal of him.
Yeah, in the fire sequence, right? In those
Yeah.
those recollection sequences.
Yeah.
Yes.
There
Give me
were
one
no
second.
eyes.
He had no eyes.
Oh, that's
Yeesh.
I
know,
know. I
I
was
know
like,
why.
yikes.
sequence.
Yeah, the thing with the roses was very beautiful.
Oh yes.
Very
Especially
sad,
with the
though.
doctor. Yeah, the doctor who didn't want that, who regretted everything she had done.
Yeah, I felt.
Yeah.
That's the one I regretted. I felt bad because maybe she could have like tried to help undo some of the mess that had happened or something, you know, and try to do good. I felt
Yeah, but
bad
when you
because she's
cause
the only one that
when
seemed
you
to be
cause
remorseful,
so
There
much
he is.
bad,
right?
was that actually weaving or was it a stand-in?
That was Weaving in full on makeup.
That's
Wow.
Weaving? He's buff like
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
Dang, Hugo.
Dang, Agent Smith. Shit.
Did you not see? Did you not see him fighting in the Hobbit and in the Hobbit?
Oh, Oh man, everybody's gonna hate me when I said I didn't really watch that stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
Have
Oh, I'm sorry,
I don't have
I'm
16
sorry.
hours to dedicate to that movie.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mario had to leave.
Oh.
Dang.
Yeah, he's
That's
Aragorn.
But
That's,
yeah,
a- that's another good trilogy of Hugo Weaving in that movies. In those
yeah.
movies, yeah.
Yeah, I knew
You are
he'd
now-
been in
you
those
are now
movies,
the
that's why I was
Fellowship
so
of the
surprised
Ring.
That was these.
But
Mhm.
hey, pop culture.
Hey,
That I honestly think that no matter what that doctor did, the fact of the matter is she has all those lives on her. So if she
Yeah.
works for an entire lifetime, that's one lifetime.
But she
is-
died with the most dignity of any of the fucking.
She
that were
did, but the
involved.
fact of the matter is, she still had to go out.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
just
again.
sad, though. Like I get it. I'm sad because if he was going to spare any of them, I think it would have been her.
Yeah,
Right.
and but
Well,
again, Go
at
ahead,
least
Raquel.
at least she went peacefully and not
Peacefully and
violently like
respectfully.
the others did.
Yeah,
yeah.
they
It
died. They were
seems
nasty
that-
and mean to the bitter end.
Did
Yeah,
it
see, that's the religious point of the Guy Fawkes character, and you know he doesn't believe that God plays with dice, right? And
Yeah.
No.
you're still going down, but of course, when you approach the gate of the threshold of your death and your demise, he will accept any apologies graciously, because that's the idea of the Catholic Church, is that as
Yeah,
long as you
God is a
repent,
forgiving
hey,
God.
you're still going to die, right? You're still going through the gates, but if you repent, then at least you show some grace. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what made her a redeemable character. That's
Exactly.
why Moira can feel sympathy for her, is because she knew that she knew what she was doing the whole time she was running those experiments. But as soon as she saw it deployed against her own citizenry, she was like, oh man, I gave these guys this weapon.
I
Exactly.
done fucked up.
And
Wait,
someone who
is
truly
that
repent-
actually
I'm a sucker
censored?
for somebody who truly repents.
Yeah, he did that himself.
Oh, okay, yeah, self-censorship. That's the thing that everyone needs to understand. Sometimes yeah, you gotta sometimes just self-censor yourself sometimes.
Yeah. But did you guys feel when V killed her that there was an air of he didn't want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
Yeah, he
definitely
didn't
felt
want
he
to.
had
that.
to do. He had a plan he needed to do, but I think that was the one he regretted the most of all the rest of them. 'Cause the rest of them were just terrible people.
Yeah.
Like they didn't feel sorry at all.
Oh, and the bishop, I think, yeah, he was
that dude
definitely
was a creeper. They should have killed
Yes.
him twice. Fuck.
That's why they
And
picked him
not
for
called
that
the lie
job.
that caused what?
That's why they picked him for that job. That's why he became part of the what is it, Lark Hill facility?
No, that was
He was in Lark Hill,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he
he was
died.
he was also at Lark Hill too, along with Potero.
Right.
He was a commander then when that
Yep.
happened, and of course,
But
he
they probably
invested
brought him on because they knew that they could handle him because they knew about his traits in the background.
They knew he was
That
a
whole
scumbag,
fetish
and
that
the
he
scumbag's
had.
going to toe the line with the other scumbags.
Right, exactly. They knew that they could put a wrench on him and put a leash on him because they knew what his habits were. That's why
Hang
they
or
corrupt.
hang
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did that quote came from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just said, Ryan. Where did that quote came from? I can't really remember.
I don't know, but I think it's a good quote to have nonetheless. Either
It
we all
is.
hang together, or we'll all be hanged separately by
I
an
remember-
establishment that does not want any of us.
No, I think the saying.
They
the saying I've
definitely
heard
don't
is-
want me around.
The saying I've heard is, if we don't stand together, we'll hang separately.
That's the sad fact. Is that if you don't fit into the certain mold or the certain boxes that they want to put you in, they hate you.
I know those woke jerks all hate me. But guess what? I hate you too. You neon blue haired jerks.
Hold on. Moira's got blue hair.
Oh. No, there's a difference between being. I mean, if you do all that neon stuff and you like rock music, you're a punk rocker. Not. There's a difference between being a punk rocker and being.
Moira, I'd describe her more as alt, to be honest. But
I'm sorry.
These people, they've stolen like different cultures and everything like that, and then they badger on because you like Mexican food.
Yeah, and it's ironic that now a lot of all those people are going to Mexico City, and the locals want them gone. It's crazy.
But Raquel, you were saying?
I think I remember the quote Ryan said was from. I think it was from Assassin's Creed 2 video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it has history long before that. I'm thinking stuff like old pirate novels, or perhaps the mutiny.
A lot of Assassin's Creed 2 was taken from a lot of the inspiration of the lines and the way the character was taken from operas, plays, and everything like that from Italy, like Italian stories.
If I'm not mistaken, I think was the character in the video game Ben Franklin said that.
That's in Assassin's Creed 3.
Okay, 3. I'm a little bit off.
BK Dan is saying that the quote is perhaps according to his research by Ben Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we've got like 3 minutes to go. So, what did you think of V's death and his like mini funeral? Well, let's just say surprise cremation.
Right.
Sad. I would say sad, but a perfect send off nonetheless.
Yes, he went out like a bang, and I'm pretty sure he probably was smiling. I'm pretty sure the real Guy Fawkes was smiling upon him in heaven after that happened,
laughing his ass off.
Yep.
And then
accomplished.
It still brings tears to my eyes when he said that falling in love with you was the greatest gift I ever could have received, because he didn't think he was even human anymore. And the idea that he even hesitated on his mission and saw her as a kind of Mercedes in his life.
Sad.
It was such a beautiful moment. Yep.
But so with 2 minutes, we're going to like chill out, and then we're going to wrap this up. Sparks, you want to go first?
What are the closing thoughts?
Well, closing thoughts, and then chill yourself. Ryan, I'm going to do you last because you did that.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can hold on. Let me type it up really quickly. Name. Yeah, you can find me right here at this on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram as well. Again, I have my own YouTube channel, JetSparks373, and of course, I also have a Twitch as well. Same tagline, same hashtag there. But the thing, that's the whole thing. I do gameplay. I mostly try to do gameplay videos. I've done writing streams. I have my own open mic series I do on Saturdays called Talking Pinheads. And that's about it. I mean, every single one of you, you're all available around like say 5 p.m. next week. You guys are all allowed to come on. You're all
Oh,
welcome.
sweet.
So that's the whole thing, though.
Moira,
Yeah.
you want to push yourself?
I'm so bad about shilling myself, honestly. Hi, I'm Mora Kitty. Sometimes me and Raquel hang out and stream stuff. Like, yeah, that's about as good as it gets. I'm really bad at advertising.
Let me try. Hey, everyone, go check out Moira. She does open lines. She chills. She hangs out. She talks. She talks everything. When she's there, she talks politics. She talks like food. She talks anything that's on your mind. She's does stuff in the background. Like you get to meet people who like personalities you never thought that you'd meet. They're like, and it's actually like quite good. So go check her out. She's quite a good person.
We're a pretty calm, chill channel.
Yeah, exactly. Like most of her streams when she's on camera, it's her just sitting on a couch.
Yeah, everybody's just sitting there chilling like we're hanging out at someone's house.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen.
Yes, sir.
You want to go? Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's see. What do I have coming up? In 9 days, I'm going to be doing a channel FFSI. We're going to be doing a kind of an unplugged tribute to the series The Prisoner. Where we're going to be playing a kind of like a Simon Says kind of word game where the host of the channel, which is going to be PJ Maybe for the day, he's going to be asking the panel questions, and we're not allowed to say buzzwords like our favorite authors or certain pop culture icons. And if we say that, we get taken out of the stream for 30 seconds.
Oh.
So it's going to be playing on this idea of, you know, you could try to be number 6, but don't say the wrong word because you'll be bumped off the stream for saying the wrong word. So that's coming up in 9 days. That's November 15th. That's noon in California and 8 p.m. in the UK's. But before that, I do a Monday and a Thursday with Roman of the Empire and the blue collar guy, the blue collar guy, and we do a Monday stream at 5 p.m. California Pacific time, Monday and Thursday, Mixtape Monday, and you know, us trying to save the world. That's really truly a lie. On Thursday at 5 p.m.
Okay. So Mountains here, before we go on to Raquel, says, do you think that V was an insider, became a victim of those he served? He acted a lot like a jilted lover towards the establishment. No, I think he was pure and simply a victim with nothing to lose.
Just like everyone else who was put in Larch Hill. All those people were experimented on, and heck, literally the virus was created from him.
Yeah.
So it started with him and it ended with him. Alpha Omega.
Yeah, essentially what he was he was a beaten puppy who remembered his ex-owners. So Raquel, girlie, you want to push yourself because you've got your little channels.
Yes. You can follow me on my main YouTube channel. I usually do hangouts and watch parties as well. I also having something still being cooked up in the works. I planning to do on my main channel. Also,
fantastic.
Please follow me on my gaming channel. I do play games there occasionally, like Elder Scrolls, Agatha Christie, and this old PS2 game called the Tasmanian Tiger.
Nice.
I remember.
Go and check out my friend for Vitting Guard. He does retro gaming. He does commentary when he plays it. You will learn more swears when you play that, when you listen to him stream, than you ever will anywhere else. Go check out John DeMarco. He should be live around now. He does Jep Nerdy. Go test out your Star Trek knowledge and see how much you actually don't know about Star Trek. Then go and check out Continuum Trek. because our other panel member, Professor Brainy Specs, is there. Now, when on that one, that is a more just round table questions and answers version of Jeopardy. Then go. Who else? Who else do we show? Go check out Orville Nation for every single thing Orville. Yeah, that's it, folks. Now over to Ryan.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the stream. I hope you enjoyed us all talking about V for Vendetta, as well as other topics and people along the way. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, Potato Revan. You can find me at Ryan Roger Athe. All you need to do is type that right there, right there, right there.
Yep.
On YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, I'm even on Twitch, and it's given me a twitch. That's why one of my eyes is smaller than the other one. I was so pissed off that I literally twitched. So that's why I don't use it. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.
Mhm. Also, I did put everyone's links in the live chat, so yeah, please follow them on there.
Ah, yes. Thank you so much, Raquel, and thank you
You're
everyone for
welcome.
watching, everyone for coming. Oh, hey, it's a Maxis. Yay! Everyone for watching, everyone for coming. You all have a wonderful and fantastic night. God bless and peace out.
Later.
Night.